Hi, my name is Solo P1 and today I'm going to be talking about the 2018 F1 Hungarian Grand Prix qualifying and race day. And before I start getting into the qualifying session, usually over a F1 weekend, if you follow me on my channel, you know I usually do a qualifying session video on the Saturday, and on the Sunday, on the day of the race, I'll do a race day video and my final thoughts. That's 2 videos a weekend I usually do over a F1 weekend. But on the Saturday qualifying session, I was away, so I couldn't get to my computer. I was away. I didn't get back to Sunday morning, late Sunday morning. So Sunday I watched the qualifying session, and just after watching the qualifying session, the race day came on Sky. So I decided to watch that. So I thought to myself, what I'll do is, as a one-off, I'll do a qualifying session and race day review in one, and that's what I'm doing now. So before I start getting into the qualifying session, enough of these Sky commentators. It's going to get to a point they're going to be chatting so much rubbish, I'm just going to mute the TV. They're so biased against Mercedes, so biased against Lewis Hamilton. It's unreal. Just stop it. Just stop it. Martin Brundle. The way Martin Brundle goes on is, the way he talks, he's like Max Verstappen's his son. We know that you're best friends with Christian Horner, Martin. We know this. We know this. But as a Sky commentator, you're not supposed to be biased towards one manufacturer. And that's the way you're talking. That's the way you're coming across to the fans. Well, to me. I'm not talking for other people. To me. All you talk about is Red Bull, now and again Ferrari. Red Bull, Ferrari, but more Red Bull. Max Verstappen's your boy. Max Verstappen is your son. Max Verstappen is the future of F1. Your words, not mine. I'm just saying that's what you say. Max Verstappen era is started. Max Verstappen is going to come into the Hungarian Grand Prix. They are the favourites to win the Hungarian Grand Prix. This is their track. No one can stop them. Nobody. Nobody's going to stop Max Verstappen. You're not talking about Daniel Ricciardo, but Max Verstappen. Enough. Paul di Resta. Oh, this is Ferrari. Ferrari's track. Ferrari. I hope Ferrari beat Mercedes. I hope they test them. I hope they get the points. Just because Vettel crashed in Germany, they need to get this. They need to beat Hamilton. What's going on? You are what is it? What is it that you don't like about Hamilton? What is it? Is it the fact that he was a better driver than you? Is it the fact that he's more successful than you? Is that what it is? Is it the jealousy kicking in? Because that's what I'm thinking. He's just jealous. The guy's British, man. He's British like everybody, just like you guys. Just like Martin Brundle, just like little Johnny. Just like you, Paul di Resta. I don't understand what's going on. What's his hatred towards Lewis Hamilton? What is it? But it continues and it continues and it continues. And the thing about it, like Lewis Hamilton said, the more negativity towards him, it just makes him stronger. And that's what it does. It makes him stronger. So keep hating. It's not going to make no difference. He's still going to continue to rack up race wins. The more you hate, the more he excels. And that's it. So we're going to start off with the Hungarian Grand Prix qualifying. It started off half of the track. Half of the teams were on ultras. The other half were on intermediate. So it was a bit of a weird qualifying. I didn't watch all of it. I was skipping through it a little bit because I didn't want to miss the race day on TV. Like I says, I got back late. So all I know, he had half of them. Look, Daniel Ricciardo. Why Daniel Ricciardo? Look in Q1, they put Daniel Ricciardo on soft tyres. And then most of the people were on ultras. Some of them on intermediate. But why did they put Daniel Ricciardo on soft tyres in Q1? That's what you're gonna ask yourself. Why did they put Daniel Ricciardo in Q1 on soft tyres. It's just one of them mysteries. On to Q2. Basically, at the end of Q1, you had Vandal was out, Leclerc, Ocon, Perez, Sirotkin, Vandal. Vandal, 5 races in a row now. He's been out qualified by his teammate. 5 races in a row, 17 out, 17. He's been out qualified 17 and qualified by his own teammate, Vandal. Out qualified. So it looks like Vandal will be getting his papers soon. I don't think Vandal is going to be signing a new contract with McLaren. No way. I can't see it. Can you guys see it? If you can see it, let me know. Put your comment section below. Let me know your thoughts if you think Vandal is going to be there next season at McLaren. I just don't think he is. Then you had Q2, mixture of intermediates and wets. Like I says, it was one of them weird races. It was a bit like Germany. Half of the track was wet, the other half was dry. Weird how that plans out. Yeah, basic radio. Yeah, the guy. Alonso was struggling in the rain. Yeah, the guy come on the radio, Alonso. He's asking Alonso. You think we should have inters or wets, right? This is the strategy guy on the radio. He should know already what tyres he's going to be putting on Alonso's car. But he's asking Alonso, what tyres do you think we should put on your car? That's where you know how disorganised McLaren is at the moment. It's a shame to see because McLaren is one of my favourite manufacturers. Obviously being British and the history of that. I'm not going to get into it. Everybody knows the history of McLaren. But the guy on the radio was saying, what do you think we should put on, wets or intermediates, right? Alonso said, I don't know, we need to improve. If we put on the wets, we might, but there's no point putting on the wets, we're going to become 20 seconds slower. Then the guy says, oh, if you do come in, you're only going to have one outlap. Alonso turned around and says, you know what, put on whatever you want. Even if you put a rubber sheet on the tyres, it's still not going to make no difference. So obviously, Alonso was angry and frustrated. Understandable with the piece of shit car he's driving, but that's Alonso for you. He makes things work. He's one of the greatest drivers in the history of Formula One, and whatever he gets, he makes it work. He's out qualifying his teammate 17 times in a row, so that shows you the quality. Sometimes it's not the car, it's the driver. Sometimes. So going into the next one. Hartley, first time in Q3 this year of his career. Congratulations to Brendan Hartley. Fair play. First time in Q3 in his career this year. First time. He started the back end of last year's season. And the first time in his career, he's made it into Q3. It's one of those races. He had people that were coming out of the race that should have been in the race. Because you had people coming in to put intermediates on, then it was coming out putting dry tyres on, and the weather was confusing. So this is what I'm saying. To me, when you're building a Formula 1 driver and you're training a Formula 1 driver, listen, I ain't no Formula 1 expert. I'm just a fan. I put the mic on, I record, I upload. There's no editing. There's no putting fancy little backdrops in. I just upload and go. Okay? But to me, when you are building a Formula 1 driver, you have to build him to know how to race in the rain. Because you know Formula 1, at least 10 races out of the calendar, it rains. So you need to build a racer to show him basically how to race in the rain. Because if you don't, you're going to get problems like we did over the weekend. Ayrton Senna, arguably the greatest racer of all time. Dry and wet. Hamilton's hero, Ayrton Senna. And I think obviously Hamilton modelled himself after Ayrton Senna. Because you know when the rain comes, it favours Hamilton. Showed it in Germany and he showed it in Hungary. So, the guys out in Q2 is Alonso, Ricciardo out, couldn't make the time, struggling on his tyres all weekend. Bad strategy. Put him on soft tyres, then ultras. It was pouring down and still didn't put him on no wets or intermediates. Pathetic. Bad strategy by Red Bull. But you never got Verstappen's strategy wrong, did you? No. Exactly. Something to think about, Red Bull, guys. So you got Alonso, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Ericsson, Sorokin out. First time this year, Toro Rosso, both cars into Q3. First time. So congratulations to Toro Rosso. Basically, Q3 starting, they're all stretching because Lewis is doing the fastest lap. Commentators are still biased against Lewis Hamilton. Like I said at the beginning of the video, they're still saying, Lewis shouldn't be doing this. What's going on with the car? Why is Lewis doing these fast times? What do you mean, why is Lewis doing these fast times? He's doing the fast times because he's a good driver. Great driver. Legendary driver. That's why. Sometimes Ayrton Senna didn't have the best car, but he used to make it work for him. Ayrton Senna, he didn't always have the fastest car, but for some reason he used to pull out the poles. Sometimes you got to be, because look, you give a guy a car, a Formula 1 driver. To me, this is what makes a great driver. When you haven't got the fastest car, but you can still pull the wins out. There's an art to it. Anybody can get, any standard Formula 1 driver can get in a car. A fast car has got great handling, great takeoff, engine heats down, heats up quickly for you to go around the corners, to make the bends. The perfect car. Anybody, basically, a Formula 1 driver could get in a perfect car and win the championship. But for a guy to get in, a racer to get in a car, what's not up to scratch, doesn't have everything going for it, but you can still pull out a race. To me, that's what makes a special driver. Right? Basically, everybody was struggling for grip on Q3, like everybody else. But towards the end, it was about 2-3 minutes towards the end, the pick Bottas, great strategy by Mercedes, the pick Bottas and Lewis Hamilton in the pits 3 minutes towards the end of Q3. They put on brand new wet tyres. Perfect. The track was wet. They was on the intermediates. They was getting decent times at the intermediates, but I knew they could get more. They came into the pit, both of them. Pit them both in on full wets. They came out, they done the out lap, and then they went for the main lap, and they both come in P1 and P2. So we had a Mercedes lockout P1, P2. And Martin Brundle was saying on the mic, I can't believe Max Verstappen's got 7th place. Hungary, Max Verstappen in a Red Bull, 7th place, starting on the grid. How is that possible? And Crafty goes, well, it is, because it's just happened. This is what happens when you run your mouth. Keep your mouth shut. See what happens. Comment about other drivers and other manufacturers, not just Red Bull. When you put your mouth on it and you keep putting your mouth on a certain person, don't you know that can bring bad luck? And that's what's happened. The bad luck hit Red Bull. You got Daniel Ricciardo starting at the back, and you had your boy. Yeah, your boy. He's not your son. You think Max Verstappen's your son. Martin Brundle thinks Max Verstappen's his son, and he's starting his 7th place. And that's what happens when you run your gums. Next time, just keep it shut, man. Keep it shut. Calm down. Chill out. You know what I mean? Unbelievable, these Sky commentators. He's then, Paul di Resto saying, Ferrari's still going to have a chance. The first turn's the main, is the important. You've got a long straight down there. I think Ferrari can take Mercedes on the first. So you basically got like, Thingy in P1, Lewis Hamilton P1, Bottas P2, Kimi 3, and Vettel 4th. And it's still saying that Ferrari are going to take him on the first straight. Still saying it. not giving Mercedes any credit. Hamilton has won 6 poles. Before this, he won 5 poles at Hungary, at the Hungarian Grand Prix. The only man to have more poles than him at this Hungarian Grand Prix is Michael Schumacher. He's got 7. Now, Lewis Hamilton's got 6, and they're still saying they're shocked that Lewis Hamilton got pole. And this is in the wet, where Lewis Hamilton excels in the wet. But the commentators are still saying, I'm surprised Lewis Hamilton got pole. Do you understand where I'm coming from? It does not even make any sense. None at all. You think of yourself, you get to a point when you're watching the race, the qualifying session, you're thinking, what are you talking about, man? Why don't you just shut up? They're not even making any sense. So you got a guy who won 5 poles at this Grand Prix. You know he's a master in the wet, and they're still saying that they're surprised and shocked that Lewis Hamilton got pole. I don't understand. Doesn't make any sense at all. Right. That was the qualifying session over. Now we're going to move on to the race day. Basically, the race day started. Martin Brundle still saying it. Paul di Resta, Little Johnny, Little Anthony, they're all saying it. What you got to watch for that first straight. Watch for Ferrari to take over Mercedes. Turn 1 and turn 2. Did it happen? Not. It didn't happen at all. Hungarian Grand Prix race day. They start 1, 2, whatever, and away you go. They all go off. Mercedes keep position. Vettel passes Raikkonen because I think Raikkonen let him through. He had Raikkonen because Raikkonen was in 3rd place, Vettel was in 4th place, and Raikkonen let Vettel through. Vettel went into 3rd place. He tried to make a move on Bottas. Bottas fended him off very good. So basically, there was no takeover. Nobody took over Mercedes. Nobody did. Just like they thought it was going to happen. It never happened. They kept the position. Lewis Hamilton started off on the ultra soft, so did Bottas. Bottas was on the soft tyres. Kimi was on the soft tyres. And Vettel was on the soft tyres. But Hamilton was on the ultra soft to try and get that good gap between him and Vettel, which he succeeded. Lap 2, Charles Leclerc was out. I think it was engine failure. He didn't have a good weekend at all. He didn't make it out of Q1, and now his car's broke down. So bad weekend for Charles Leclerc. There's rumours he's supposed to be gone to Ferrari, but that's the commentators talking for you on Sky Sports again, chatting rubbish. They don't know nothing. They're just listening to the gossip around the paddock. Nobody knows nothing for sure. Nothing's been revealed. Personally, I think Kimi Raikkonen is going to stay at Ferrari. At least for another season. I think he's still got something left in him. Kimi's still a good driver. It's funny how Kimi is always on the podium. He's always on the podium. You got to give it Kimi, man. He's always on the podium. So, replacing Kimi with Charles Leclerc, I wouldn't do that yet. I'd leave it the way it is. And then virtual safety car, lap 7. Max had power issues. Again, you see, before the weekend, there goes, Red Bull's going to win this one. No one's going to stop Red Bull. And if it isn't Red Bull, it's going to be Ferrari. But this is Red Bull's track. I don't care. They're gonna win qualifying and they're going to win the race. What happened? Lap 7, Max Verstappen, Red Bull, Martin Brundle, wanna be son. Max Verstappen breaks down power issues. So Max Verstappen was out the race. Gone. Then lap 30, Martin Brundle said that Kimi should let Vettel go in front of him. This is what Martin Brundle said. This is the same guy that's at the German Grand Prix was saying that Bottas shouldn't back down for Lewis Hamilton the last 3-4 laps towards the end, when you had that great duel between Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas, side-to-side car, wheel-to-wheel action. Brilliant. It was brilliant to watch. Martin Brundle says that Mercedes shouldn't have let Bottas back down for Hamilton to let Hamilton through. Now he's saying that Ferrari, that Raikkonen should let Vettel through. This was on lap 13. So a bit of he's contradicting himself, really, isn't it? Bit two-faced. Lap 15, very surprisingly, just like they did last week, they picked Kimi early, lap 15, and put him on the soft tyres. Soon as they picked Kimi, they picked Bottas, so they undercut him. So Bottas will go on the same compound as Kimi Raikkonen, soft tyres, so we can keep Kimi at bay, away from Hamilton, to lock him off. Because that looked like the strategy they was going for. Obviously, the strategy what Lewis Hamilton was on was different. He was on the super soft tyres, but Valtteri Bottas was there to fend off Mercedes, to protect Lewis Hamilton. And he done a great job doing it as well. Respect to Valtteri Bottas. Respect. Lap 26, they pit Lewis Hamilton. Put him on the soft tyres. So basically, they put him on the soft tyres. He was on the Ultra, like I told you before. And they put him on the soft tyres. So that was his, it was a one pit strategy. And he made them Ultra soft tyres last him a long time. He's the master. He's like a master of looking after his tyres. He showed that in Germany. He showed it again here. I think the laps out of these tyres were 20 odd laps, 30 laps. He got a bit more out of them. So now, it was 20 laps it was, and he got 26 laps out of these tyres. And he was pushing some good times, getting fastest laps for at least 6 of the laps. So he done well on them tyres, but they put him in, put him on a soft compound, and he was gone. So Hamilton come out in second. Vettel was still in front. He didn't pit yet, so Vettel was still on his soft tyres and he didn't pit. Vettel obviously was going for a reverse strategy to Lewis Hamilton. He started off on the Ultras, and now after that they pit Vettel in and they put him on the Vettel was on the soft tyres at the beginning, and then after Lewis Hamilton came in at lap 26, pitted Lewis Hamilton, put him on the soft tyres, and then they pitted Vettel not long after that on the Ultras. So that was a strategy Lewis Hamilton was going for Mercedes, and basically they wanted Vettel to, when they put him on the Ultra soft tyres, the plan was to obviously catch Bottas and then try and go for a win to try and catch Lewis. But the problem was when Vettel came in for the pit, there was a bit of problems with his front tyre. They didn't get it on. Usually the pit strategy is about 4 seconds. It was a little bit longer because the front tyre didn't go on correctly. So they had to get that sorted. So there was a bit of a delay in the pit lane. And his plan, the original plan, was for Vettel to come in and then come out in front of Bottas. And because there was a delay with the tyres, he came out behind Bottas. And that's where it got interesting, because Bottas spent at least 25 laps with his soft tyres, keeping Vettel at bay. Basically keeping Vettel at bay. Vettel tried his best for over 20 laps, and he just couldn't get him. Bottas was blocking him off as much as he could until the tyres started wearing off, which I'll get into later on. Lap 51, Van Dorn was out. Not really. It's not really big news, is it really? If he's not out, if something happens, whatever. He was out. Safety car got deployed. No, virtual safety car got deployed. And then Mercedes was trying to temperature Ferrari into pitting. There was a little strategy, little mind games. Basically, lap 51 had the virtual safety car. Mercedes came out. One of the pit guys came out to see. They was trying to. It looked like they was trying to tempt Ferrari to pit as well. They came out with the guys ready to pit, and there was no movement from Ferrari. Ferrari wasn't buying it, and so then when they knew the plan didn't work, Mercedes just got the stuff back into the pits. They didn't pit. It was just like it was a psychology thing. They was trying to tempt Ferrari to pit, but it didn't work. Mind games between the pitters, which is good. I like to see that. Lap 55, finally, after nearly 20 laps of trying, Valtteri Bottas' soft tyres gave up on him, and Vettel finally passes him. Bottas, obviously we know now the way it's going in the season. He knows he's not going to win the championship now. His job there now, his job at Mercedes for this season is to protect Lewis Hamilton, to stop the Ferrari cars from getting at him. That's what he's there. He's there to block off the Ferrari fight, basically. That's what he's there for. Just for this season. So basically, lap 55, Vettel passes him. But as Vettel passes him, Bottas locks up and clips the back of Vettel's car. We don't know if it was deliberately. We don't know if it was just a mistake. I saw a few interviews on the internet by Vettel. Vettel said it was a mistake. His car locked up. There's nothing he can do. Because he's done that before. And then we move on. Lap 68. Ricciardo tries to pass Bottas. But Bottas, I don't know what happened to him. He just basically just went straight into Ricciardo. And bashed his car. Took for Ricciardo not out of the race, but off the track. Ricciardo went wide. Lost obviously a few seconds. Bottas carried on with his business like nothing happened. I thought, what a reckless renegade, man. I like seeing this fight with Bottas, man. I like seeing these fights. Good for you, Bottas, man. You're showing that you got a bit of fight in you, and that's what I like. But you know what I mean. Anyway, I think the news just coming not long ago. He's got a 10 second penalty, Bottas, for this Ricciardo, and he's got 2 points on his license. But Vettel done similar thing to Hamilton, or was it to Bottas a few weeks ago or something like that. There was a similar incident with Vettel, and he only got like a 5 second penalty. He didn't get a 10 second penalty. He got a 5 second penalty, and it was exactly the same. Even Martin Brundle was saying it, which I was surprised he was saying it. Martin Brundle was saying that Vettel done the same thing, but he only got a 5 second penalty. Bottas got 10 second penalty and 2 points on his license. So do you see what I mean about stewards and the FIA? They're all politicians. Just like I said before, they're all politicians. Finally, just at the last lap before the race finished, Ricciardo finally passed Bottas because Bottas's car was hanging off all his wings, his nose was hanging off his car. He was losing so much speed in his car. There's nothing he really could done. And I think, Ricciardo passed him into 5th place. No, into 4th place. Bottas got 5th. Sorry. So the last lap, it came down to it. I'll do the final standings. Let's move that across there. Right. The final standings of the race, how it ended. I'll do the driving standings. Hay fever, sorry. Sniffing. The driving standings. Lewis Hamilton. I'll do the... Let's say it finished here. How the Hungarian Grand Prix finished. Actually, I'll start with the driving standings. Right, this is how it ended. No, this is how it ended. I'll do it this way. Lewis Hamilton, first. 4 points, 25 points. Second, Sebastian Vettel. Third, Kimi Raikkonen. Fourth, Daniel Ricciardo. Fifth, Valtteri Bottas. Sixth, Pierre Gasly. Seventh, Kevin Magnussen. Eighth, Fernando Alonso. Ninth, Carlos Sainz. 10th, Roman Grosjean. 11th, Brendan Hartley. Good for him. It's nice. Brendan Hartley got some points. He's had some bad luck lately. You know what? He showed some fight today. Pierre Gasly showed some fight as well. He's definitely a driver for the future, Pierre Gasly. Yeah, 12th Nico Hülkenberg, 13th Esteban Ocon, 14th Perez. Not a good time for him. The last couple of races now, he's finishing some bad times. He's not doing well in qualifying. He's not getting out of qualifying two weeks in a row now, 2 races in a row. He couldn't get out of qualifying too. Kind of a dip in form for Perez for Force India. 15th Marcus Ericsson, and 16th Sorokin, and 17th Lance Stroll. The 3 DNFs are Stoffel Van Dorn, Max Verstappen, and Charles Leclerc. So that's how the race finishes. I'm going to do the driving standings now in points. There's a 24 gap now, 24 points now with Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. I think this time last year, I think there was about 13 points. Vettel was ahead going into the summer break, but now Lewis Hamilton is 24 points ahead of Sebastian Vettel. So you got Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes on 213 points, Sebastian Vettel in second on 189 points, Kimi Räikkönen in third on 146 points. You know what? I think I think Kimi should still push for to try and get second, because he's not that far behind Sebastian Vettel, and I would still push. I would. Nothing really between fourth place and third. Kimi third for 146. Valtteri Bottas 132 in fourth. Fifth place Daniel Ricciardo 119. Max Verstappen 105 in sixth place. Seventh place Nico Hülkenberg 52. Eighth place Kevin Magnussen 45. Fernando Alonso, he had a good showing today for the car. Fernando Alonso, man, getting some stuff out of that, getting some points out of that piece of shit car he's got, man. That car, the times he's getting out of that car, he shouldn't have been getting them times. And the place, he's bringing points to the back to McLaren. So yeah, you had where was we? Alonso's 9th, 10th Sergio Perez, 11th Carlos Sainz, 12th Esteban Ocon, 13th. Yeah, that's it. 30th, I've done that. Yeah, Marcus Evans 17th, 18th Lance Stroll, 19th Brendan Hartley, and 20th Sergio Sorokin. So that's it really. That's let me see if I can do. I got the constructions here. Yeah. Now the construction, there was 20 points between them. Now there's 10, because obviously Bottas come into 5th place. It was in a 1 and 2 lockout Mercedes to extend their construction points. They lost 10 points. So, but Mercedes is still on the top. They got 345 construction. Second Ferrari 335. Third Red Bull 223. Fourth Renault 82. Fifth Haas 66. Sixth Force India 59. Seventh McLaren 52. Good for them. Eighth Toro Rosso 28. Ninth Sauber 18. And Williams with 4 points. So that's how the standings with the Hungarian Grand Prix finished. So yeah, that's it. I thought it was okay. Nothing special really for this Hungarian Grand Prix. I think it's not one of my. They had big expectations for this going into the weekend. Well, the Sky commentators did. I thought Red Bull was going to win it. Actually, they said before the Hungarian Grand Prix that Red Bull could. It's a 3-horse race between Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes for the championship. I don't know what planet that guy's on. He must be from Mars. I don't know where Martin Brundle's coming from. That I know you love Max Verstappen. I know you wish he was your son. Yeah, but Red Bull ain't winning no championship. Sorry, they ain't winning no championship. Not this year. So yeah, you had a few interviews after the F1. You had there was interviewing Toto Wolff. He says Bottas is a good wingman, which I thought was a bit funny. They interviewed Bottas after, and they said to him, the commentators trying to stir the shit. They said to Bottas, Toto Wolff said that you're a good wingman, and Bottas said it hurt when he said that. He's not a wingman, but Sky commentators, how they stir it. There was an article just now, I'm looking at it first time, from Autosport. It's saying Toto Wolff has clarified his reference to Valtteri Bottas being Lewis Hamilton's wingman in Formula One's Hungarian Grand Prix. Insisted Mercedes does not favour one driver over the other. That's what the article says, which I agree. But at the end of the day, you're a team. You got to work as a team. And sometimes you've got to sacrifice certain things to get ahead. The worst thing that two teammates should do is what happened a couple of years ago when you had Lewis Hamilton and Rosberg together. He's fighting. It brings bad vibes to the garage. Bad vibes overall, obviously for the two drivers. And Mercedes don't want that again. This is why they gave Bottas a new contract, because they know he's like easy talking, it's calm, factory's quiet, they can get on with the work. There's no hostility between the two drivers. They get on, and that's the most important thing. Bottas is going to get his chance. He's 28 years of age. He's got loads of years in front of him. Next year, he could win the championship next year. Who knows? You don't know. Because after that interview, obviously, Team Mercedes boss called Bottas a sensational wingman for fending off Ferraris, fending off the Ferraris, which he did a good job for 20 laps. As Hamilton escaped to victory at the Hungarian Grand Prix, leading Bottas to tell TV crew that being described as a wingman hurts, which I've told you before. Bottas suggested he would seek talks with Mercedes over Wolff's comments, saying it remains too early in the season for him to be cast in a support role to the championship leader Hamilton. When asked by Autosport how he would deal with the situation in the aftermath, Wolff moved to clarify his remarks. He said, "That's exactly why things that are not being discussed directly face to face are being completely spun out of control in the wrong way. Typical, like I said, by the media." Wolff said, "In today's race, starting in P2 after lap 1, Valtteri's race was the perfect wingman race." He just said, he was basically saying it was the perfect wingman race. He didn't tell Valtteri Bottas to be the wingman. He just says it was a perfect wingman race, which it was, because he was blocking him off for most of the race, and that's all he meant. He never meant nothing bad towards Valtteri Bottas. That's the way the media spun it, especially Sky Sports. You know how they are. So that's it, really. That's all he said in the article. He said it was spun out of control. He said that in today's race, starting P2, like I said, after lap 1, Valtteri's race was a perfect wingman race. And I don't mean it in championship terms, because we have no number 1. We have no number 2, but it was just how he was racing. It was, from his standpoint, his best race so far with Mercedes in the last 2 years. That's what Toto Wolff said. Wolff also said, Wolff said Mercedes was surprised Bottas managed to keep the Ferrari at bay for so long. That's what I said as well. He done good. It was lead for 20 laps. We were surprised he managed to hold Sebastian and Kimi behind for 25 laps. I thought it was 25 laps. Also laps, so it could have been more than 25. And we knew the last 5 laps would be really critical. The bittersweet feeling I have is that we would have deserved to finish P2. Yeah, I know. 1 and 2. It could have been a 1 and 2. It's so close. It was just 5 laps towards the end. But are you saying, yeah, he goes, wait, where he has started and where he had after 1 lap. So yeah, basically, yeah. They started 1 and 2 and I wanted to finish 1 and 2. He goes, but are you saying, this is what the guy says, but are you saying maybe the word wingman doesn't do him justice? That's what the interviewer was saying. He goes, he just drove a sensational race and helped Lewis in a way to build the lead. See, you got the media man trying to put a spin on it. Toto Wolff's got nothing against Bottas. He gave him a contract. He gave him another contract. A year deal maybe to extend. You know, it's about the teammates getting on. That's what it's about. Teammates getting on. And you know these media want to throw, especially the Sky, they want to throw a spanner in the works. In between, they're trying to create something what's nothing there. They're trying to create hostility between Bottas and Hamilton. And there's nothing there. They are friends. They get on. The team get on. The engineers get on. It's nice harmony in the garage. Something different. When Rosberg was there, they don't want that again. This is probably why they never signed Ricciardo. Because you would have had two drivers, two big ego drivers. And you know eventually they would have clashed. And it would have been bad for the team. They don't want that again. He says, I'll finish off with this interview on here. He goes, I have not called a meeting with the bosses for total sit. This is what Bottas says. I have not called a meeting with the bosses for total saying I was the perfect wingman in the race. Read the statement, he said. There is no need to. I was disappointed with the end result in the race, and I saw everything in a negative way for a moment, which you do. At the end of a race, when you know you could have got second place, and it all goes to shit for you, and you end up finishing fifth. Of course, your blood's pumping. You don't know what you're saying. You know, you say stuff that you later on you regret, and that's what he's saying in his interview. The stuff he said at the beginning, he regretted. He goes, this is what Bottas says again. I know what he meant, and he would have to. He said, and he would have said the same about Lewis if he had been in the same situation and at a similar race. We are equal terms, and I trust the team 100%. Bottas says, all good. We'll keep pushing. Of course we will. Of course they will. Me, I think Mercedes are the favourites now. After the summer break, you're going to have the Belgian Grand Prix. That suits Mercedes down to a T, really. The first four, let me see what they are now. Let's have a look. We've got the first four. So you got now, what we've got now? We've just finished Hungarian Grand Prix. So the next one, we've got my favourite. Obviously, Silverstone is my personal favourite because it's like a sentimental track, being British. But my favourite track overall is the Belgian Grand Prix. I love the Belgium and the Silverstone, really. Belgian Grand Prix is a lovely track. It's the biggest track on the calendar, and it's just a lovely track to take over, and it's going to be perfect for the Mercedes engine. This is for Mercedes engine. This is built for their DNA of the car. This track, the Belgian Grand Prix Spa, it's a power track, and it's perfect for them. So the first two, really, we got like Belgian Grand Prix. I think that suits Mercedes, and then straight after that, the week after that, we're in Italy, which obviously Ferrari going to be pushing. They're going to be pushing to win that because obviously Ferrari is Italian, so it's going to be in Italy. And I think, Mercedes, that track suits Mercedes as well. And then after, we've got the Singapore, which is 14th to the 16th of September. And then after that, we've got the Russian Grand Prix, which is the 28th and the 30th of September. And then the 5th to 7th of October, we've got the Japanese Grand Prix. And then the 19th to the 21st, we're off to America, to the United States Grand Prix. And then the 26th and the 28th, we've got the Mexican Grand Prix. And then the 9th to the 11th of November, we've got the Brazilian Grand Prix. And then to finish it off, we've got the 23rd and the 25th of November, we've got the Abu Dhabi. So, yep, we got some exciting. I think the first one, Belgian Grand Prix, I think that could be a Mercedes win. Second one, it's a toss-up, really. It could suit Mercedes, but obviously it's in Ferrari's home country of Italy. But last year, they were supposed to win it last year, Ferrari, and never Mercedes won. So that's going to be interesting. And then Singapore, that's one of them. I'm not sure if that suits Mercedes. That Singapore, that's more for Red Bull. But they said that with the Hungarian Grand Prix, and look what happened. Sky commentator said it. They said Hungary is definitely going to be Red Bull, and Red Bull didn't even finish in the top 3. So anything can happen really. Russia Grand Prix, that's a nice little power track. That's a nice little track that is. Russian Grand Prix. Yeah, so it's interesting times for the after the summer break. It's gonna come alive. The season, it's gonna be a great season. So yeah, that's it really. That's my review on the review of the qualifying and race day review 2018 F1 Hungarian Grand Prix. Don't forget to subscribe to me on YouTube, Solo P1, Instagram, Solo _P1, Twitter, Solo P1, and Twitch, Solo P_P1. I'm going to be uploading some videos and some photos on my Instagram, videos on YouTube of some unboxings I've been doing lately. I haven't uploaded them yet. I haven't got round to them, but I'll be uploading them soon. I'll be uploading this video as soon as it goes, as soon as I finish. I ain't going to be editing it. I'm just going to stop, upload to YouTube, and that's it. I'll never edit on my channel. I never do. It's just a straight record. So if there's a bit of a fuck up during the videos, when I talk, if I say something and go back and say something else, and you can tell I don't edit, I don't go back. I'll just do a straight record and go. It's better that way. It's more realistic. So yeah, put your comments below. See you later, guys. This is Solo P1 signing off for another 4 weeks. Enjoy your summer. If you're going anywhere nice, enjoy your holidays. I hope you have a good time. Whoever's watching, and I'll see you in 4 weeks. And it's going to be at the Belgian Grand Prix, which I love. I love Silverstone as well, but I love the Belgian Grand Prix as well. I really love that as well. So I'll see you later, guys. Have a good one. Solo P1 signing off. Bye.